deeply, and especially the man-made calamities. I think the world has not killed the Muslims in the last 5 years or 60, 70,000, but the Muslims have killed themselves about 3.5 lakhs. That makes us suffer agony and conflict.
Second part of the question. 3.5 lakhs.
Yes, sir. The Muslims have killed themselves 3.5 lakhs, primarily in the conflict between Iraq and Iran. And all the Muslim countries are at loggerheads with each other.
Why?
That's what my question said. What? You know it? I know one answer. That's because the Holy Prophet Muhammad had said so, that unless the only remedy is that they go to the Messiah.
So you know the answer already. That's what I suspected. Come on. Afterwards, please, Brother Muzaffar Ahmad, come on. First of all, accept my heartiest congratulations on the grand success of your press conference. Your participation was excellent. Everybody reported in superlatives about your answers and everything. Also the other participants did very well with the grace of Allah, and I am so happy. Jazakumullah.
At the Nikah, you explained the process of creation, and I could only hear glimpses of it, and I wonder if you would expound just a little bit on that process where you were saying that the feminine or the woman aspect came first. Yes, sir.
Were you there at the time?
Yes, sir.
What I pointed out was the fact that life, when it began to take shape, had a system of reproduction which had nothing to do with sexes. There was a single cell which divided almost in the middle, and the two children were born out of one. And so they bifurcated and went on dividing themselves, and new offspring were born. This was the system in the beginning. For how many million years we don't know. But there was nafs wahida, that is a multiplication of single cell without any sexes being involved. A time came, for instance, amoeba is one of a form of life where the cell moves along, it has no eyes, no particular stomach, no sensory organs apparently, almost the borderline of life and death. Yet it exists, it moves along through protruding little fingers here and there, and also it avoids sunlight and goes into the darker shades. It has a sense somehow, somewhere, of feeling, and knows what is good for it and what is bad for it. When the time comes, it grows a bit older, and the things begin to wear off. It divides itself in the middle, and two young amoeba are born. But later on we see a new phenomena appear, very slightly and very slowly emerging. And that phenomena is observed in certain plants. We call them botanical figures, but they are again both zoological or botanical, or both zoological and botanical, because in the beginning, in the early form of life, you can't strictly apply the animal standards to one specimen, or botanical standards to that specimen. They have, partly they are animals and partly they belong to plant life. So at that early stage, we observe different phenomena appearing. there are two longish cells. One cell gives birth to, comes into contact with the other now, and a small portion of that cell leaves its body and enters the other adjacent cell. And in that cell, it starts its life as a parasite, and it grows until the tummy ruptures and a baby is born. But the size of that parting cell is also quite big, and it gives some definite loss to the body of the other cell, which we may call male, so to say, because it gives away a part of it, and the other cell, which has all the similar features. There is no distinctive differences between the two cells. So the other cell, because it is the recipient of that part, that can be called a sort of female. So khalaqa minha zawjaha, that process has just started. Allah says, وَالَّذِي خَلَقَكُم مِّن نَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ, He created you from a single cell, and there was no male and female. خَلَقَ مِنْهَا زَوْجَهَا, from that single cell or single form of life, it created its partner. And this is the beginning of the creation of a partner. You follow this? And this new type of cell was born of a cell which was a different type, which was a dividing type. So these two things which came into being as a sort of crude males and females, they came into being from a cell which did not behave like this. It behaved like a neutral cell which divided itself for reproduction. So this process was further refined. Smaller and smaller cells were created, and because of the death of the female in this case, a new process was evolved. Both these cells started throwing little small particles of their body into the water, and there they joined and started developing into a new form of life. And this went on developing until that minute particle which was emitted became so little, so small that it could not exist independently. So it had to be injected directly into the belly of the female, which started giving birth to small ovum or ovi or eggs. So one became male and the other became female, and sperm was injected into the belly of the female, and it went and fertiled the egg, and so the baby was born. This was just one direction. But the things didn't move in just one single direction. It kept on developing in various directions. So mammals started developing on these lines. Birds started developing on other lines by, instead of giving childbirth, they gave eggs, and they were hatched outside, at no convenience to the females, other than, of course, giving the egg. So this is what I meant. All these details have come to human knowledge only in the past 1 or 2 centuries. The maximum development has taken place in the century we are passing through. Even in the past century, the human knowledge was very elemental on these things. Go back to 1400 years and read this verse, and you will be flabbergasted if you knew what was going to happen or what we were to discover. That the Holy Quran totally defies the religious knowledge it had inherited from other religions, if it had inherited any knowledge at all. The Christians